that sounds good. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I see that. Okay. Oh, I don't know, it went away. I saw it for a second, but... Oh, there we go. I found it. Thank you. There we go. Now I can try to do that, and I saw that you had it on Twitter here too. Try to send it on Facebook too. Yeah.
Welcome live to the Edward Fowler Show here on Saturday afternoon. We are live here, and you can see we have now fixed myself. For the first time ages, this time in 2020, I fixed my background. As you could tell, last time we were live, we had some not very good images behind me there, so I'm glad I was able to fix the glitch, and it's back to normal. And we were meant to be live yesterday as well, but unfortunately, last minute, my guest decided that he had to do something else, so he's coming on my show next Friday. That is Johnny. I have already set the event up and running for next Friday, same time at 1 p.m. Eastern. I might move it closer to 12 p.m. Eastern, but more on that though during the week. But I'm going to be live as well next Thursday, as well with someone who has competed on WWE and Ring of Honor. Can't wait to bring that person on. I will announce that during the week on my Twitter account, which is on the screen right now, _EdwardFowler_. But I am currently joined here by Rocky Mountain Pro champion. I want to say champion. You're sort of champion, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I've been champion for a while, so.
Just wanted to make sure that you were sort of champion, not being defeated overnight in the past week from we announced this. But last week we had on Jumbo. He was on the show last week from Rocky Mountain Pro, and he told us that we should recommend him. He recommended us to get in contact with Dustin Uhrich, if that's how you say it. I apologize. You can correct me now.
Oh, it's Dustin Uhrich.
Uhrich, that's it. It's just weird how you say it. It's a bizarre pronunciation, so I apologize. It's a unique name, I have to say.
Yeah, nobody can say it or spell it, so I'm used to that. But yeah, it's Dustin Uhrich.
Gotcha. And if you have a question for Mr. Uhrich here this evening, let us know. Use the hashtag The Fowler Show on Twitter. this evening to join your comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say from my guest. But firstly, I want to know about what got you into pro wrestling. Why do you want to join the world of pro wrestling? Was it in your blood, or was it in your family, or was it something you just wanted to do since you grown up on it?
So ever since I can remember, I was, when I was little, growing up, I was always watching it. My grandpa was a real big fan, and because of him, like my dad and his two brothers, they got into it, and it kind of got passed down to me. And as long as I can remember, since I was a kid, every Saturday and Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday morning, when I was a kid with my dad, we'd get up and we'd have breakfast, and we'd go buy groceries and go to the flea market, and I'd try to go find some wrestling figures and stuff. And we'd when we get back, there'd be like a block of TV that we'd just sit and watch on the afternoons. And like 10 a.m. I think it was on Sunday, they'd have like WWF Superstars, and then after that they had WCW Worldwide. Yeah. And then after that we'd watch Monster Trucks. And so like for those 3 hours, as long as I can remember, me and my dad would sit down and watch that, and I just got hooked. Like I can remember, the first major feud that I remember watching when I was a kid was, of course, the Mega Powers with Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth and all that. And just that, and when I watched, I didn't watch it live because I was only like, 4 years old, but I watched the videotape. I used to rent all the old VHS tapes at the video store, and I rented WrestleMania 3. Nice. And that's what hooked me right there. And the whole event was awesome, but my guy was always, growing up, the guy that hooked me was Hulk Hogan, and watching him and Andre the Giant, just him doing, the impossible, defeating and slamming Andre the Giant, I was like, man, I got to do that. There's nothing cooler in the world than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then you were hooked, and you wanted to join the world of pro wrestling. So how did you do so? Then did you come across Rocky Mountain Pro, or did you do some researching some companies which you could go and train for, or how did it all go around to be a part of Rocky Mountain Pro?
So when I was thinking about getting into it, I knew, when I was still in high school and before that I wanted to be a wrestler. And, years ago, even with the internet, there wasn't a lot of places you could find for training schools.
Gotcha.
My goal was, I graduated in 2001. My goal was, when I graduated, I was going to save up money and, work and save up money, and I was going to go move to Atlanta and go to the WCW power plant. But then 3 months before I graduated, they went out of business and got bought by the WWE, and so I was like, well, I don't know where I'm going to go train now, and because at the time I didn't know of anything that the WWF had. And so I just kept working, and I came across some local promotions around here in Colorado, and I saw this one company, RMCW, Rocky Mountain Championship Wrestling, and I went to a few of their shows, and actually went to training there one time, and went to this guy's house, and there was a few of us there, and I only went there one day, and we did like a training session that was in this guy's backyard, and the guy that was training us was like partially blind, and I'm like, how the hell is this guy gonna train me, but I survived it, and I felt like hell afterwards because they had us do so many rolls and bumps, and I felt like beat up and sick, but I was like, well, that was my first day in wrestling, and I was like, well, after that, my car got stolen, and I didn't have a car for about 1.5 years after that, so I was kind of stuck. And then after that, I was like, there's got to be somewhere else. So I'm like, I'm going to look around, and if not, I'll go back to that place and train because that's the only thing I knew.
Yeah.
But I did some research online, and I found a couple places, and I called up this one guy. His name is Jeff, and I called him, and he told me, come check out this place and, watch our show and talk to me and the other trainer afterwards, and let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. So I went to their show here in Denver, and actually it was in Golden, and it was this company called Fusion Pro Wrestling. And I watched them, and after that night I saw some of the wrestling they had and some of the angles, and I was like, I got to be a part of this company. It was awesome. And so that guy, his name was Mr. Intensity, Jeff McAllister was his wrestling name, and there was another guy, Billy V, and those were the trainers. And so shortly after that, I joined the school in like late 2004, and I joined on with Fusion Pro Wrestling, and they're the ones where I got my start. I had my first match in it was June of 2005, and I couldn't have started anywhere better, and it was awesome. We had a great crew of guys, great place to learn. We had some fun shows, and they closed up shop in, what was it, 2009, like August of 2009, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And so in between there, I kind of jumped around, did some other local companies, and it was all right, but it wasn't the same for me and some of the other guys. And so shortly after that, the guy who is the Rocky Mountain Pro owner, Matt Yaden, I'd known him, since Fusion. He was there with me there for a while, and we kind of already were getting together with some guys and kind of showing some of the newer guys, like we were kind of training people then, and there wasn't any wrestling schools around, and we'd just go anywhere that there was a ring, and we would try to get some people together and just do some training just to try to work on stuff and get better. And then new guys would show up, and we'd try to show them what we knew, and so we kind of became somewhat trainers, by default. And so he decided in 2010 he was going to make his own wrestling company, and I helped him start New Revolution Wrestling, NRW, which eventually was rebranded and morphed into Rocky Mountain Pro that we know today. So it really started then in 2010, and he asked me if I would be interested in joining, and me and several other guys around, we joined up and started what is now Rocky Mountain Pro.
Indeed, and it's been around since 2010, which means 10 years, really, of Rocky Mountain Pro, depending, if you want to say, they've changed names, but it's still the same company, so, 10 years of a company. It's done very well so far. The production value has gone up since the very beginning of the company known as NRW back in the day, 10 years ago. And now it's changed, and it's involved, and it keeps evolving and developing, and there's now a strong roster of guys and gals, and you've had the privilege of bringing in some of the greatest stars in pro wrestling, like Too Cold Scorpio was there for a minute. You've got the Twitch champion, Marty the Marth, or as I call him as the part-timer, Marty the Marth, because he doesn't really come on your show to defend it anymore, really. He's trying to get the attention of All Elite Wrestling, trying to get on that show now. But, I mean, he's
been a little injured, though.
True, he is injured, but he's almost better now. He's almost 100% better now, and he's got his target on All Elite Wrestling, so I doubt he wants to make any more appearances for you guys until he gets his big money signing with All Elite Wrestling in a few months' time, probably what we can hope for. That'd be great news for you guys, because he could still come onto that show with the Twitch champion, and say, look at me, I'm the Rocky Mountain Pro Twitch champion, and plug the company on AEW. I don't think that will happen, but I would like that to happen, but I don't think AEW will allow him to do that.
Yeah, that would be all right with us, and if they decide that he can't come on there, he could always have a final match, and win, lose, or draw, he could just drop the belt. Or if he had to face someone like me, of course, I'm going to beat him for the belt. So, I've known him for a long time too, from back in the day wrestling in Utah, and I've had some battles with Marty the Moth before, and I wouldn't mind doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've had the pleasure of having him on this show a few months ago, and now we got you, the Rocky Mountain Pro Champion. We had Marlon Bishop on here a few months ago, and I believe you beat him for the belt, and I think that was very rude of you to do so to end the streak of Marlon Bishop, because I was saying on here I wanted him to be the longest running Rocky Mountain Champion, but you came along and destroyed his hopes of doing that. So it means my question to you is now: are you going to try and be the longest running Rocky Mountain Pro Champion in history, or are you going to let some lame ass behind you come up and take your spot?
Hey, I don't plan on giving this up anytime soon. I mean, I'm sorry I ruined your dream of Marlon becoming the longest reigning champion. I believe right now the longest reigning champion for Rocky Mountain Pro / NRW was Danger Dean, who recently returned to the ring. So hopefully I'm going for his record, because I've beaten just like pretty much anybody around here. So if I got to do it again, that's all right with me, and I'll do whatever it takes. Like I said, I beat Marlon. I've beaten several other guys that are champions. Now I've like our Charge champion, Lipto, the Ignition champion, Jumbo. It's been a while, but our Twitch champion, Marty the Moth, like I said, I've had battles with him. I've beaten him before. It's been a while, but I'm ready to do it again. So anybody who wants to step up, I'm not gonna hide from any challengers, but hey, I'm already as of now the longest reigning Rocky Mountain Pro Champion of this decade. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
well, I can take your word for that. Again, you could just be making that up on the top of your head. So I hope you can bring some proof for me to show the viewers here on the Fowler to say that actually Dustin wasn't lying at all. He was telling us the truth. So if you can bring us some evidence of that, that'd be fantastic. And then I'll be supporting behind you, the longest running champion of this decade of 2020. We're only in the second or third week of January now. And
hey, still Marlon was only the champion for 4 days, and I beat him.
Yeah, exactly. Not long.
That's your proof right there.
Well, it's the bout, by the way. Jumbo didn't want to show his new bout. So was there last week? Where's your bout? Are you using the same excuse as well of getting it shined up, wait for your next appearance? Is that what is that what your excuse is?
It was, though. We were getting all the belts redone after we had our big show. We got them all. We're getting them all refinished, all ready for the new year. So that way, the champion, his belt will look as good as he does. So,
right. Okay.
Don't worry, you'll see it on the next Rocky Mountain Pro show. You'll see it here very shortly.
Which is, I believe, tonight, every Friday night on Twitch. Is that right now? Because it was on last Friday night, live on Twitch, and now I understand that there'll be a new weekly show. I'm going to say it's on a Friday, since last week was on a Friday. So is that correct? Is every Friday now? Or is it going back to a Thursday?
We should be doing it like that, like you said, like every week. And we had, last one was Friday. And so we're changing things up this year. We were doing every Thursday last year. But we're going to change them up, and we'll still have, you'll still have to stay tuned for. We'll have like some monthly special ones where we'll do some different days here and there. Like sometimes we wrestle at in a movie theater. We wrestle in the summertime. We wrestle outside. We'll go to the theme park, Elitch's Gardens here down in Denver. So we're all over. But yeah, we will have our weekly shows, but we'll have some other ones here and there too. So we keep pretty busy.
Yes, you do. And who would you like to see come to Rocky Mountain Pro? From the indie scene right now. Who do you want to go against from the indie scene? Because you got likes of Marty the Moth around, and you had Too Cold Scorpio. So who else do you want to invade Rocky Mountain Pro and show them that you are the true face of Rocky Mountain Pro, and kick their ass and retain your Rocky Mountain Pro Championship?
Man, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good talent out there. Man, I don't know who I'd want to face the most. Like I said, we've had some good guys coming through here, whether they were wrestling or training, whatever. I'd take, like, Marty would be a good one. I never got to wrestle him in a match, but I've done some training with Scorpio. Like, that guy's still phenomenal. He still looks, a lot like he did when I first saw him in, like, the 90s in WCW, when I first turned on WCW and saw him. Some of those guys he just doesn't age, I swear. Man, I don't know who I'd want to face most. Like, I'm open to anybody. Like, we're always bringing in people here and there. We'll, we do training seminars for our wrestling school. We do, and we'll bring in some of the guys to have matches against our guys too. And I don't know. We've had a ton of good guys. I don't know who I would say I'd want the most. Like you said, we've had a lot of other good guys too. A few years ago, we brought in the current, he was then and he is now, the NWA champion, Nick Aldis. We've had Sledge from Ring of Honor. We've had so many good guys. We've had Chavo Guerrero in here. I don't know. It's like an endless list, man. Like, I don't know if I could pick just one that would be like the one I would want to face. Like, I'm open to anybody because, like I said, I don't plan on losing that belt anytime soon. So, your Rocky Mountain Pro champions, he's not gonna duck any challengers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's mentioned to yours that he's had on, we've Rocky Mountain Pro brought in Chavo Guerrero, former WWE, and I think also as well at one point in WCW. I could be wrong about that, but there we go. And it means you don't have a dream opponent, and you want to face no dream opponents you want to step in the ring with and face, by watching him on TV back in the good old days, and actually getting him to wrestle them on in front of a packed crowd in Denver, and to show that you are, one of the best in the business right now against a top star on the independents, or from when on TV when you saw them years ago.
Oh, from back in the day.
Yeah, some sort. Yeah, there is still some around from the back in the day. You got the, you got the Rhinos, you got the Rob Van Dams, you've got, who else? We even got some of the wrestlers from 10 years ago. You got, as you said, Nick Aldis was in your company in Rocky Mountain Pro at one point. We've had, you could get, it could be in the ring against Trevor Murdoch as well. He's a great wrestler. He was from the early 2000s, who came out of retirement to be a part of NWA. This is very bizarre. We have reached out to him as well. So far, no response, but go on.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We used to have him out at Fusion Pro Wrestling, and so I met him a few times, there and out in Kansas City at this company that used to be Metro Pro Wrestling, and yeah, Trevor's a good guy. I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of good guys that are under contract or not under contract that I wouldn't mind facing. There's, guys from Impact Wrestling, AEW, the Independents, WWE.
Go on, name a few. Who does name us a few from as he just said, Ring of Honor or Elite Wrestling, even WWE. Name us who you would love to step in the ring with. Just name us 3 names one from each.
Let's see. I wouldn't mind facing like some big hard hitting guy like you mentioned, somebody like a Rhino or something like. Yeah. That would be a fun match. Like, or you can't go wrong. Like, I think anybody would be, you'd be stupid not to want to face the AEW champion Chris Jericho.
Oh, the champion.
Yeah, we can be the champion versus champion. Like, he does the lion salt, I do the lion salt.
Yeah, because you pinched it from him first. He's the one who founded it first. So you saw it. I thought, wow, I'm gonna pinch that for my own moveset. That's what you did first. Yeah, the champion with the bubbly. Where's your bubbly? Did you celebrate when you won the championship?
What's that?
Did you win? Did you celebrate with the bubbly when you won the World Championship?
I didn't have any. I'm not much for the bubbly. I'm not like a champagne guy or whatever. But I went and had some beers and a burger afterwards. Gotcha. So that was all right with me. But that's more my style. But But yeah, I wouldn't mind facing him. And I would definitely have that lion salt scouted out. But I don't think maybe if I could escape away from that, I don't think he could kick out of my finisher, the dud, the Dustin Uhrich driver. So far nobody's gotten up out of that. But let's see who else.
Now you mentioned,
if I had to pick one from the what's that?
You mentioned a big, strong guy. So I thought you were going to say the MMA expert Jake Hager, not the champion. So I'm surprised you picked the champion instead of Jake Hager. Are you afraid of Jake Hager?
No, I'm not afraid of him. I didn't think of him as like off the top of my head, but he would be another good one. He would be a tough guy too because he's got that great amateur wrestling background, and which I have some amateur wrestling background, not quite as stature as his, but that's all right too because I got some other tricks up my sleeve. But I figured, like I would go to the top, and I would want to face Jericho. If we did, we could do a champion versus champion. But
yeah.
I guess if we're talking like dream opponent, if I said maybe one or two people from like WWE or something, I'd pick. I wouldn't mind facing AJ Styles. I always loved watching him grow up. I've been on some of the same shows as him, did a training seminar with him years ago. But I think if, talking about old and new, someone who could maybe still have a match, I wouldn't mind. I could help. I could retire my hero, Hulk Hogan. I could take him out in a match. So that'd be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good payday probably, too.
Probably will be, yeah. Absolutely, okay. Moving on from Wacky, from the stars you look to face in the ring, who do you want to face in the ring this year in Wacky Mountain Pro?
Well, there's a lot of good guys there too, and it's always fluctuating. We got a lot of new guys coming up in the training school too, that are getting ready to have their first matches from the next year. But I think some of the guys that I wouldn't mind facing again. Well, I'm sure Marlon Bishop. He's going to be coming for a title rematch. So I already assume that that's going to happen. So I'm ready for that. There's other great guys out there. Curtis Cole. He's always a favorite to get in the ring with. He's unpredictable. Like, you never know what he's going to do. He's won every title there is to win. And just recently lost the tag team titles with Matt Yaden, who one day I want to get back in the ring with him. We've had some wars back in the day, and those are probably some of the battles I'm most remembered for around here in Colorado is against Matt Yaden, and I'd definitely like to hook it up with him again. Let's see who else. There's other guys. He hasn't really been around much lately, but I'd always love to get back in the ring with guys like Anaya or you mentioned some of the other champions, like some big guys, Jumbo. Like he's been on a tear lately too, and he'll fight anybody. He's fighting the Colorado Mammoth lacrosse team. Mammoth, their mascot Wooly on our show recently, so he's crazy and unpredictable.
Sure is. And let's say, for example, Anaya, who you mentioned, is currently out of action. I believe he was injured. I think he's healing from the injury, and he is getting better, and he should be making his comeback shortly. Let's talk about then your favourite moments of 2019. But before we get to that, what are your social media? Because, of course, for our viewers here on YouTube who may be watching this on demand or live, they can see your social medias right now. But if they are listening to this podcast, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at just facebook.com, just under just Dustin Uhrich, and that's spelled Uhrich. You could also find me just on Twitter at Dustin Uhrich. You can always, if anybody wants to check out some matches and highlights, you can always look up Rocky Mountain Pro on Twitch, YouTube, find stuff with all of us on there. But But yeah, out of all the social media, I'm mainly probably on Facebook the most.
Gotcha. Well, because usually in the Fowler show, we don't really give out our personal Facebooks. So we like that Dustin has decided to say, you know what, he's gonna stick to doing Facebook and Twitter only. It's quite good of him.
Yeah, man, check it out. And like I said, if you ever, you can always check out our stuff. We have plenty of shows and stuff on Twitch too, and because we're to partner with them, and so we're always on there, and you can see all the past shows from years and years, even back to the NRW days, and we have some clips of some of my old Fusion Pro Wrestling matches, like I said, with like Matt Yaden and etc. So you can see all kinds of past matches.
Absolutely. And we want to say as well, so what's been some of your favourite moments of 2019? Obviously, maybe one of them is winning the Wacky Man Pro Championship, of course. That's probably one of your high moments. But what are your other favourite moments of 2019?
There's been some pretty good ones. I was pretty happy, this wasn't just a moment, but just kind of getting a chance to prove myself a little more overall, just in all the matches and stuff this whole last year, and then got myself in bigger matches as the year progressed. I faced a lot of just about everybody in the company in this last year. I had a few victories over disqualification victories over Marlon Bishop, and before he was the champion.
Yeah.
I faced other guys like Curtis Cole and Chongo, and had some bunch of crazy matches. I think one of the bigger ones that was good was we had our big Shocktober event, and I was involved in a big tag team match with it was a big 10-man tag team elimination match, and came down to me. And at the time we had our Rocky Mountain Pro general manager Austin Reddick was in there, and it came down to me and him, and I hit him with my finisher, the Dustin Uhrich driver, the dud off the second rope, and pinned him in the middle of the ring. And so I got rid of him, and he was kind of a thorn in my side for a while. So I got rid of him and as the general manager. So that was a good match, a good moment. We had joined up with the Ice Queen, Ronnie Winter, for a while, and the Galactic Goddess and Abaddon the Monster, and we created a group called the Cult of Cold, and we had some good stuff with those guys too. And there's going to be more with me and the Galactic Goddess and Abaddon. They're still by my side, so we're still going to be we're taking over Rocky Mountain Pro. We just we're going to be picking up some more gold as we go as well, so look out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about some of the talent there, and if we go back a little bit, I want to ask you about who do you personally think of the future talent currently training at Wacky Man Pro? Do you see any future stars there who could lead the company in the next few years, even in the next decade?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we got some really good young talent. Some of the guys that are around right now that could be some of the leaders in the next several years. Well, and definitely in the tag team division, you got the new tag team champions, J.K. Pop of Johnny Casanova and Caden Koyama. Those guys, they don't quit. Those are, they're smaller guys, but they're tough and they're quick, and you can never underestimate them. I think they're going to be around for a while. I think, like I said, Jumbo's getting better all the time, and he's found a little mean streak in him, and I think that's only going to help him out even more as time goes on.
Yeah.
Our charged champion, Lipto, he's getting better and better all the time. He's only been around for, I don't know, a couple years or so now, but he's going to be one to watch. I think another guy that is going to be a sleeper possibly, but I think, if he keeps working at it, I think one guy that's going to surprise some people is our social justice warrior, CJ Pricefield. He's definitely a dangerous guy. You got to watch out for him. He has no problem like fighting you. He'll pick apart body parts. He'll snap your fingers, and he uses that kendo stick on people. So you got to watch out for him. I think the list, you could just go on and on, but I think those guys are some of them that are going to be up and coming, that they're going to be around for a while, and I think they'll, this is, of course, after, whenever I decide to retire as the champion and step aside, they're not going to beat me, but I mean, they'll help run the company when I'm gone, so.
We will see. We will see about that statement, because I doubt that is going to happen. I think by the end of this year, you will not be the Rocky Mountain Pro champion. I think you may be forgotten about, but when you do lose the belt this year, you need to somehow stay relevant to keep on that high and to back the challenge and become again maybe the Rocky Mountain Pro champion when you do lose it at some point this year.
Oh, yeah, and that hurts. I'm not looking to be a two-time champion. I'm just looking to be the longest running champion.
Well, maybe.
I retire and go have a few beers and relax. Whatever I do, go hang out with my dogs and just retire,
Yeah.
But we'll see. I hope I can prove you wrong, and we'll see what happens this year. But
please do, because if you do, keep the championship for 1 year, and then I want you to come back on there and gloat to me. I want you to come back here and gloat, saying I told you so.
I hope so.
So because again, I want to set challenges on the channel this year. So the first challenge is for Dustin here to prove me wrong that he's going to keep the championship to the end of this year, which is not going to happen. But we can try, and then he can come back on there and say I told you so at the end of the year. So I want you to keep that there. Last year we had some challenges, and none of the people who set these challenges actually were correct, because I told you so last year. I'm going to tell people again this year that I predict spoilers and they come true. And and that was my spoiler. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. At some point this year, I'm going to say by June, you will not be the Rocky Mountain Pro champion, okay?
Ouch.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to talk about this, and I'll come on here. We'll talk about this again.
Yeah,
so hopefully,
please do.
Hopefully, I can say I told you so, and you don't tell me I told you so.
But we will see what happens. Now you got something to prove. Now you got something in your mind, and I need to prove this guy wrong. He's saying his public. Here,
anybody wants to come prove me wrong, that's fine. You come to Rocky Mountain Pro, and
I would if I do have a passport, but I don't have a passport. But again, if Rocky Mountain Pro want to invite me to that show, please do. I'll come out in person and tell you so in person that I told you so in front of your hometown fans, that your hometown hero or villain here is wrong, and that he is couldn't do it. He couldn't keep the promise.
You can say that. I was saying, like, we can have some other talent from outside of Colorado come out here too. We've had some guys come from all kinds of places around here, from California, Kansas, Texas,
Las Vegas.
Yeah, we've had we've had some good guys come from all over. Those periodically go around, and those stops are here. So
okay.
I'm sure this year will be different. So we get a lot of outside talent here and there. So that's always fun to test yourself against them too.
It is, and to show out who is more dominant. Am I more dominant here in Colorado than I am in Utah, or am I absolutely rubbish here in Utah, but fantastically well here in Denver, Colorado, being the best site here in Denver to offer. Or vice versa. I might be the best in Idaho, but maybe in Denver, Colorado, I can't get to grips because of the weather. The weather is freezing cold around this time of the year. And I bet the same for you when you go to maybe other states like Utah or something. I bet it's very warm and you're not really used to the climate and you lose because of your concentration. It's not as good because of the heat gets to you. Is that a fair?
We're talking about that, the heat and the cold. We got a lot of like different. We got like all the seasons in Colorado. Like you might see all the seasons in one day because Colorado is so crazy. Like it might be freezing cold in the morning and at night, but in the afternoon it might be nice and sunny out. It might be like 80 degrees, and then by the night it might be snowing. You never know. But I have all the experience of that and the different climate changes. I'm not worried about that. Plus, we also got we're at a higher altitude than everybody else around here, so that's one thing I got in my favor too. Everybody else is going to be all tired and dying for air, but I'll still be going strong. So
yes. Well, again, you can catch Dustin weekly here on twitch.tv/RockyMountain again, I don't know when the next show will be out on Twitch, but if you go there right now and click the follow button or even click the subscribe button, which helps them out very much, do so. And you can be notified every time when Rocky Mountain Pro goes live, which is every day with different things. Sometimes they play some games, and other times they will show you their weekly Rocky Mountain Pro show on there. You can also watch it on the Fight Network UK on weekends here in the UK. Also, as well, if I've got this right, on my TV, is that my Right Now TV? Is that right? Right Now TV?
Yeah, we were on the Right Now TV. We're not going to be with them anymore. We did a little trial run with them, but I don't know if we're going to go back on or not. That's still kind of up in the air. But we were with them for like a season or whatever, and so we'll see. We keep our eye out on stuff. So looking to get on some other TV. But yeah, we're always on the. You can find stuff on the Fight app, like Fight UK app. Definitely, Twitch is our number one place to find Rocky Mountain Pro.
Yeah, it's easy. It comes straight away. You can't go one. You can't find a fault there. Rocky Mountain Pro. Some of their pay-per-views, however, will be on Fight TV, which helps them out as well to pay for their maintenance and to help with their production, things like even their talent as well. So do support them on Fight TV as well for their pay-per-views, and you can find out more information by going to is it rmp.com? Is it?
RMPWrestling.com.
RMPWrestling.com. I knew it was RMP, but I didn't know it was wrestling as well.
Yeah, you're close.
I was close. There you go. RMPWrestling.com to have more information, to have tickets and events, and also keep up with their social medias on Facebook, Rocky Mountain Pro, Twitter. I believe it's at the Rocky Mountain Pro, I think, on Twitter, and also on Instagram, the same username as on Twitter. So pretty much you can find them on all three platforms, so go and follow and like them today. Unfortunately, I can't show you my screen because my software, you can guess it again, it's froze. So all you can see now at the moment is just Dustin. But at least he can see you. That's the main thing, because you're more important than me. I'm not really that important. So there you go.
Right, you can just see the moneymaker right here. Yeah. That's all you need, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Now, I'm back live next Thursday here at, I think it is, I can't remember what time it is now. I think it's either... 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm live next Thursday with my next guest, somebody who has worked in the WWE and Ring of Honor, and I'll bring up that person's name for you right now. John Schuyler. Ever heard of him?
I have. I haven't seen a lot of his work, but I have heard of him, and you seem to have a lot of good guests on here. I've seen you've had several guys that I've heard of, and several guys that I know of. Like I know you've had recently, you said Marlon Bishop and Jumbo, of course, from Rocky Mountain Pro, and you've had Marty the Moth, who we've been around, and I saw you had Dak Draper recently. Like he used to come through here and wrestle with us, train with us. So
all these
a lot of good guys up here.
All these great guys have all said yes to my podcast. I don't know why. I'm only a small YouTuber. I get less people on this show than anybody else, but I don't know why they choose my show. But anyway, I'm glad they do, but I don't know how I can grow this channel because I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing the tags correctly. I'm getting 58.6 on tags, which is good, out of 100. So think about that. For this interview alone, it's 50.6 out of 100. So that's great. So I'm getting views in the right things. When I search on it to YouTube, for example, like, I don't know, your name, this will pop up. If I type in indie wrestling, this will pop up. If I click in pro wrestling, it'll pop up. Things like that. Rockman Pro, it'll pop up. But for some reason, it works on that end, but for some reason, it's not being searched on, on the actual YouTube itself. So it doesn't pop up for people out of YouTube who also watch wrestling. So I don't know how it doesn't work like that. So hopefully, maybe one day it will get better. We might actually get more people watching this, but I don't know.
Hopefully, I am not a tech guy by any means, so I am the totally wrong guy. I couldn't help you with that, but
I'm sure I can help.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you can show on your end, that's the main thing. So next Thursday we've got John Skyler on the show at 12 p.m. Eastern, and then next Friday we have Johnny, who was going to come on yesterday but had to reach out to next Friday. He knows I don't know if I can say this publicly or not, but I'm going to do so anyway. He knows Jake Hager from AEW. We don't know how he knows it, but we're going to get to the bottom of that story next Friday of how he knows Jake Hager and why is he friends with Jake Hager, because of all people, the baddest man right now in pro wrestling and the MMA world. So we'll see all about that. But again, I appreciate Dustin for coming on the Edward Fowler show, the current Walking Mind Pro champion. There we go, not Ring of Honor. Current Walking Mind Pro champion. Much appreciated to you. I hope you enjoyed this show, and who would you suggest me to get in contact with next from Rocky Mountain Pro? Now, we tried to get in contact with Curtis Cole. We got his email. We reached out to him last year, but we had no response. So something's gone on there. But anybody else, feel free to suggest to me, and we can see what we can do.
Yeah, maybe try to hit up Curtis Cole again. He's a good one. He's a good talent, and he's one of our trainers here with me and several other guys at our Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling School. I would go for the owner, Matt Yaden.
Yeah.
He would definitely be the guy to go to.
Yeah, we've had him on as well. He was the first one for Rocky Mountain Pro, and then we had Austin Wedding on after that, and then we had Marty the Moth on after that, and then Marlon Bishop, then Jumbo, and then yourself.
Okay. Maybe some of the other guys you could go for would be like I said, our tag team champions, J.K. Pop, Johnny, and Koyama. Those guys would be good.
Okay.
Perhaps our any of the other guys, our like I said, our charge champion, Lipto. Maybe some of the girls that are in my group, Abaddon, maybe the Galactic Goddess, Heidi Howitzer. Those would be some good ones. Heidi's pretty funny too, so you might like her.
Interesting. Well, yeah, definitely. We will get in contact with some of them people shortly. Also, as well, we are in negotiations with not Myron Bishop, with Myron Reed, one of the hottest prospects of MLW. We are in negotiations with him. We just he's just a slow replier. That's what it is. So I'm sure we'll have to be in the books with Myron Reed soon. I don't know when. But you will see it first when I announced it on Twitter and Instagram. And please make sure you do follow me on Twitter _Edward Fowler _ and also on Instagram, Edward Fowler Show. So simple and so easy to find me on there. But again, thank you, Dustin, to come on the show. I know you got to go right now because you got something to do in your house. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you do like it. Make sure you do share it with your wrestling fans, wrestling friends as well, all the same. And make sure you subscribe with your notifications on. Make sure you're always notified when I go live with a new podcast, because you never know who may be coming on this very show. Again, as Dustin said, I have some great people on the show who are willing to be on a very small YouTube channel. We try to be different from the Chris Van Vliets and the Alicia Toots of the world, so I hope you enjoy the content around here. But until the next video drops, enjoy the rest of your day.